8 out of 10 houses I will close. Now, let me explain something about, especially nowadays. A lot of companies nowadays, and I'm talking, it's July 2010, are food stamp dependent. 80% of their sales is from food stamp sales, EBT cards. And let me explain the downfall. My company accepts food stamps. My guys maybe turn in 5% food stamps, because what happens is this, and it kills, because I talked to a couple of owners, and what happens is from the 1st to the 14th, people sell food stamps. They target food stamp areas. When you approach a food stamp area or a EBT card area, you got to understand that there's the poverty level is a lot lower than your normal middle class homes. And what happens is you start dressing like a bum. You wear these shorts down to your knees, and you got your tats showing, and you could pitch these houses. These guys, get food stamps. To them it's free money. But what happens is on the 14th to the 31st, they can't sell regular houses. They got all this money on the books, and they can't cash out because they can't sell cases. So what they do is they go to middle class homes and sell cases for $90, $100 a case, so they can cash themselves out. So what you want to do is you want to get away from food stamps. I'm not saying that if it's all you can do. If you look like you just got out of prison, you got a tattoo on your face and a tattoo that says "fuck the world" on your neck, maybe food stamps is where you have to go sell at, and there's no other option for you. But that's one of the things that really gets me nowadays. I got a couple of guys from another company, and they couldn't sell. They were doing 6 boxes a day, 12 boxes a day, and that's not making it, man. And if you're selling, a case for, $1.30, you're not making any money. My guys, their average, what they're selling their cases for, are $189 to $229. And we sell a decent case. I sell a no pump case, no tenderizer, but that's okay. A case is a case is a case is a case. Direct USA has a good case. It's all presentation. The brochure inside the case of Direct USA, that's a big seller, very legit. The Direct USA logo on the freezers. Now, my company doesn't have any trucks with freezers, because trucks with freezers are a bad word where I'm at. People have been burned many a times by these companies selling dog food. And it's called sell and burn. Just no receipt. All they get is a cryovac in the freezer, not even the boxes. Because it means dog food. And unfortunately, when they see a truck with a freezer, people associate that with their last sale. So I have Sprinters and I have Chevy Expresses, and I have digital imaging in my vehicles. So presentations, it's all about. But let me get back to the basics. A lot of you guys are coming into the business. It's a numbers game. Don't get frustrated. You're only as good as your trainer. If you have one of these trainers that all they want to do is chase drops or go by houses that they sold before and don't give you the opportunity to sell or knock on a door, that's a piece of shit trainer. Or a trainer that smokes weed all day, and doesn't want to do anything. You new guys, you rookies coming into the business, man, you need to knock on doors. You need to learn how to hook the doors. That's the most important part of the business. Without the hook, you can't show. Without the show, you can't sell. When I started in the business, they told me the 10, 5, and 1 rule. And that's for mediocre salesmen. You got 10 door knocks, You got 5 shows, you got 1 sale. And that's a shitty ratio, but you know what? It's still banging doors. Out of every 10 doors, you got a sale. And if you bang 50, 60 doors, that's 6 sales, So, but to the rookies, concentrate on your appearance. Don't try to mimic your trainer, because he's been in the business for a long time. Listen to what he says. If he really cares about you, because remember, he makes money off you. He makes money off your hooks. And everybody that started in this business trained. I trained, and I remember my first 3 days, I hooked, and I only made $50 a day. And I know my trainer made $300 to $400 a day. But you know what? It's part of the business. If you make $50 a day, that's good for the first 3 to 5 days in the business. But you got to understand, you got to knock on doors. Now, this is one thing, especially in the summertime, okay? If you're a guy that has to start at 9 in the morning and be done at 9 at night, you know what? This business is not for you. If you sell 12 to 18 boxes or 24 boxes in 12, 16 hours, man, this is not the business for you. By the time you come home, you're exhausted. In the summertime, I don't start pounding doors, and my guys don't load up till about 2 o'clock. I know it's not, not the same way that Direct USA is, because you guys have the meeting, and meetings are very important because of motivation. But in the summertime, that sun, especially in the southern states, will beat your ass down. So if you start at 4 o'clock, that's prime time. You're gonna have more people home. So if you saw from 4 to 9 o'clock, I mean, that right there, you could do a good 10 cases. And that's when you start getting more into the business, because the more people there, you start doing doubles, you start doing triples, I'll start getting into the closing part. But I just talking to the rookies, the trainees, the most important thing when you start is to knock on doors. And don't let your trainer drive you around all over town doing his errands. When you train, you're supposed to train. And 9 times out of 10, if you're driving the truck, your trainer doesn't have a license. So you know what? He depends on you for his work that day. So remember that. Don't let nobody tell you different. And that's just something I've learned throughout the years. The way you're trained in the beginning of the 7 to 14 days in the business is what's going to shape your sales ability. I got it in my first third or fourth day. I was very teachable. I was open-minded. I trained with 3 or 4 different people, and I trained with the best. I begged them. Guys doing 60, 72 boxes a day, I will beg them to take me with them. If they couldn't take me with them, I tell them I'll follow them in my car. Because you could only learn from the best. And that's bottom line. It's like when I play racquetball. I started playing racquetball, and when I played with shitty players, I ended up playing like shit. But when I played better players than me, I started getting better. So get trained by the best. If there's a guy in your office that he's doing multiple boxes, man, try to go out with the guy. If you got, one of these guys that, look like they're hungover, smell like liquor, try to stay out of his truck. That's just the way the business is, There's a lot of businesses that do the same thing that we do. Now, we do door-to-door 6-packs. There's companies like Schwann's, and Schwann is not a thorn in my side, because I saw a lot of people that buy from Schwann's, because Schwann sells ice cream. They own Tony's Pizza. They box out in houses, A person that buys from Schwann's, you know how many doubles and trips and quads I put in people's freezer, and I dumped out Schwann's stuff? And Schwann's drivers make $500, $600, $700 a week. I make that in a day. So, there's companies like Horizon Foods. That's a very organized company. They sell Omaha steaks, but they box out. They don't make as much money. You have unlimited. God, I can't even say the freaking word. Sorry, I had a long day today. There's no limit to the amount of money you can make in this business. What you put into this business is what you get out of it.